Well, with the city saying it wants to lower the property rates formula by just over 10%, 10.2%. This formula, it's called the rate in rand, is how the property value gets turned into your monthly rates bill. Now, the city says this cut will protect most homeowners, even though property values have gone up last week. Jordan Hill-Lewis, the mayor, speaking to Africa Malani, saying over 60% of homeowners won't see a big increase in next year's rates bill. Let's have a listen.
The issue is not the price bracket. The issue is how much your property value has increased. So roughly you can, the rule of thumb, this is averages. Remember, we're averaging across 1.1 million properties. So this is certainly average numbers. The rule of thumb is that if your property has increased by around 10% in value, then because we are enacting a 10% reduction, you will get no increase, or in fact, you might even see a small decrease. Where you get increases in value, above that, you might start to see moderate increases. And then, of course, we must have a caveat. There are always outliers where in some parts of the city there have been tremendous increases in value, extremely popular little nodes and neighborhoods and so on, where those will be outliers. So last year was not a valuations year. This year is a valuations year. So I wish it was possible to smooth these things out more, but the fact is that last year's budget is done and dusted. This year we are enacting this 10.2% reduction. So it will be a softening on the impact of last year, hopefully, for this person asking the question.
But property values have increased, in some cases almost by 17 up to 20%. Some critics are saying if your property value goes up by a lot, how can your bill go down? There's of course the argument around, but the city has introduced fixed charges for water, sewage and cleaning were moved out of rates. If those were to come back in, the proposed cut doesn't look like a real cut. Bas Zuidberg is the chairperson of the Cape Town Collective Ratepayers Association. Good morning, Bas. Really appreciate your time. In very simple terms, do you foresee a real rates cut or not?
Good morning, Lester. For our members, and for people who don't know us, we represent roughly 100,000 households, which is 10% of the property stock in Cape Town, and also 60% of the collected rates. I believe that for our members, this is more like a Black Friday sale. You increase the price first, and then you give a discount. So we expect quite significant increases in the rates bill of our members.
The city says, and as you say, you represent 10% of property owners. The mayor says 60% of homeowners will be protected. Do you agree?
Well, I don't think our members will. So we represent most of the properties valued above 3 million. So it's all quite new. But from Friday onwards, we have been receiving numerous members reaching out that their valuations had increased 25 to up to 135%. Now, I agree with the mayor. 135 might be an outlier, but the median seems to be roughly around 60%. So with a decrease in the rate in the rand of 10%, that still will probably leave these homeowners with an increase in the rates bill of 50%.
There's currently a court case over the previous budget increases, largely over those fixed charges of water, sewage, and cleaning. And we take the city on its word that it can make these adjustments to the benefit of property owners. But do you see any link between this new formula and what could be the pressure brought on by the court case currently in the High Court based on last year's budget?
Yeah, so what is happening now is exactly why we also, in our affidavits to that High Court case, we already highlighted the problem that because evaluation is now not only linked to the rates, to the taxes, but also to the fixed charges, as you said, any valuation change has a knock-on effect across the board. Now, the fixed charges for water, sanitation and cleaning, they constitute roughly 25% of the fixed amount. So 75% is rates and 25% is for those fixed charges. Because the city now has that link between value and those fixed charges for water, sanitation, and cleaning, the effect is much more severe. So if you have a house of which the value increases 25%, you get bumped up a few property bands in that table. So your charges for water, sanitation, and cleaning, which we all believe are illegal, will increase as well. So it makes it much worse. And the city hasn't clarified. So they've said that they will decrease the rate in the rand, but they have not clarified what will happen with the property bans. They've also not clarified what's going to happen to the other property categories, because residential properties are only one out of 23 categories. It's commercial, industrial, agricultural, etc. And he hasn't said anything about that.
Would this be the city trying to release some of that steam of a property bubble that continues to expand, not only in the high income areas, but across the city, even working middle class, middle income areas? We have seen property prices steadily increases, brought on largely by the high demand in property in the city of Cape Town metro area. Where do you see the city trying to create, firstly, some room for ratepayers, but also trying to deal with a property bubble that continues to expand?
So, I mean, the mayor has been very clear that he encourages valuations to increase, because for him that is proof that Cape Town is very popular. But, for people footing the city's bill, which are its residents, it is very bittersweet. It's all good and well for your asset to increase in value, and nobody, that's all good, but you can't. I mean, if you live in an area and you've chosen to live there and you want to stay there, you've been there for decades, and the value now increases for reasons outside of your influence, and you're having to pay more rates. I mean, that doesn't feel right. So that's a debate we've been having with the city for a while now. Yeah,
it's the debate that while your property is valued at more than it was last year, in technical, on paper terms, your net worth is higher, but you don't see that in your month to month, especially when your rates bill has increased.
And as always, I mean, wealth is something different than your cash flow position. I mean, it could be that you're in an expensive house, but you don't have the means to actually pay for the rates. So if you have a 50% increase in rates bill, I mean, how are you going to manage? I mean, if you're a pensioner on a fixed pension, or a pension that increases with inflation, that just doesn't add up.
Bas Zuidberg, really appreciate your time. Chairperson of the Cape Town Collective Ratepayers Association. Maybe if I can just ask one more question. There's already a case in the High Court. What now for ratepayers? To go view, check your evaluation, prepare your objection, pay attention to when the budget is tabled. I think it's between March and May when the budget is tabled in the City Council.
Yeah, so first of all, people just really need to go online and check their valuation and see how it's increased. Secondly, we're going to issue a press statement today calling upon the City of Cape Town to publish all the information on the increases, not just, to tell us something about a decrease in the rate in the rand. And thirdly, we will be preparing to inform our members on how owners can effectively object against the valuation if they choose to do so. And then, obviously, we need to wait for the outcome of the High Court case to see what's going to happen there. And then when the draft budget comes out, the circus starts again.
Bas, really appreciate your time.